not much we can do in this job without frosting of some sort. So I've showed you guys how to make ganache 3 ways for a delicious, decadent, chocolatey, fudgy frosting. You also, of course, know how to make my super light, fluffy, perfectly pipeable buttercream frosting, which is awesome and holds up really well in the heat. And then not long ago, I showed you how to make a 2-ingredient chocolate fudge frosting. There's a lot of frosting going on here. Today, I'm going to show you guys how to make a 7-minute frosting. This is a super light, almost marshmallow fluff-like frosting, and it's great for when you need a really white frosting or something that's completely free of grains. You can sometimes get a tiny bit of graininess in a traditional buttercream. If you have the Sweet Celebrations cookbook, this is actually the recipe on page 217 for my favorite 7-minute frosting. And I'm gonna be using this frosting inside a giant Hostess cupcake. So if you're not already subscribed to the channel, might be a good idea if you wanna make sure you don't miss that video. The things that you'll need to make your 7-minute frosting: I've got 2 large egg whites, a tablespoon of light corn syrup, or you can also use glucose, 1/3 cup of water just at room temperature, and 1.5 cups of sugar. You don't want powdered sugar here, but you want a super fine sugar, so either a caster or the finest grain in granulated sugar that you can find. There's not a lot to this recipe, but you're gonna need a minimum of 7 minutes, as the recipe name suggests. First up, you wanna bring a pot of water to the boil, so get it to a nice, sort of a rolling boil, and then reduce it down to a simmer. You can use either a glass or a metal heat-proof bowl and rest it over the top of your saucepan so that it never actually comes in touch with the water. It's just kind of getting that heat from the steam within your saucepan. Into the bowl, you want to put your water, your corn syrup or your glucose, your egg whites, and then your sugar, and give them a little bit of a hand mix just to get things moving. And then you want to take your electric beaters here, and you're going to beat on high speed for 7 minutes. Around 7 minutes, depending on the speed and strength of your mixer. You might need 8, 9, 10. It might be done at 5. As you mix through, you'll see it hit a couple of different stages. First, it's going to go quite white, but it's still going to be quite soft and kind of drizzle off your spoon. Then you're going to see it start to firm up, but still it's not going to hold its own shape. The stage that you're looking for is when you get soft to medium firm peaks. So this basically means that when you lift up those beaters, your frosting kind of ribbons at the top and leaves its own little peak, or your beaters actually leave their own mark in the frosting as they're working through, rather than having the frosting fold in on itself. You're looking for a texture very similar to like a marshmallow fluff or a marshmallow cream. This recipe also colors beautifully. I love a paste or a gel color here, and you can see how well it colored up in the pizza waffles from my book. That bright red frosting is this exact 7-minute frosting. I don't love this frosting for piping really high swirls or for holding up in between cake layers because it's a really light, soft, smooth frosting, but it's not designed to keep its shape in the same way as a traditional buttercream or a firmly set ganache. It's great for piping low swirls, spreading all over the top of cakes and cupcakes, and of course, filling the center of a giant Hostess cupcake, just in case you happen to be making one of those this weekend. Make sure you subscribe to the channel because you just might be making a giant Hostess cupcake this week. Make sure you check out some of my other videos if you want to see some of those basic frosting recipes and some of those giant cake and candy bar ideas. Have an awesome day, you guys, and as always, thanks very much for watching.